Welcome to Visionary Voices, the space where we sit with leaders, builders, servants, creatives, and visionaries who are using their voice, their work, and their calling to impact lives, strengthen communities, and inspire change. I'm your host, Dr. Shante Brewer, and today's conversation is one that every leader, every ministry servant, every nonprofit founder, every young professional, and every person who works with people needs to hear. Today, we are talking about the kind of leadership that starts on the inside before it shows up on the outside. We are talking about healthy culture, public trust, faith, service, and what it means to be prepared for the next level of leadership. My guest today is Melanie D. a human resources, talent, and culture leader who serves as the Director of Human Resources, Talent, and Culture at the International African American Museum in Charleston, South Carolina. In this role, she helps strengthen the people, systems, and culture behind a powerful institution committed to history, memory, identity, and legacy. Melanie is also a dedicated civic, and community servant, serving as vice chair of the Charleston County Public Library Board of Trustees, where she helped steward access, learning, literacy, and public trust for the broader community. In addition to her professional and civic leadership, Melanie is a part of the ministerial staff of the Charity Missionary Baptist Church in North Charleston, South Carolina, bringing a faith-centered foundation to the way she leads, serves, and supports people. Today, we're going to talk about what it means to lead people well, how self-awareness shapes our communication, how healthy culture is built, how faith informs service, and how every season of leadership can prepare us for a larger assignment. Visionary Voices family, help me welcome Melanie D. Well, thank you so much, Miss Melanie Collins, for joining us today. And you look ever so fabulous.
Well, thank you so much. And you do as well. One of my favorite colors.
Oh, well, thank you. Look, I try. So before we get into, all the good stuff for our Visionary Voices audience, that this may be the first time that they are meeting you. Who is Melanie Collins beyond all the many and several hats that you wear, being this major boss chick down here in Charleston? Like, who are you at your very core when there's no one else around? It's just...
Wow. Big boss lady. I don't know about all that, but I am a daughter. I am an auntie. I'm a godmother. I'm a BB. I have adopted children all throughout my walks in life. But most of all, I'm a child of God.
Yes, because I was definitely going to say, okay, so I'm hearing all the love.
Absolutely.
So I definitely know that you are a leader, that you're going to lead with love and compassion first and foremost.
Absolutely.
And I am here for it. I love it. And speaking of your leadership journey, when you look back over your journey, what experiences would you say shaped how you see people and how you even see that very leadership role when it comes to faith and the serving of people?
You cannot be served unless you know how to serve. And I truly believe in that. It took a long time for me to learn that, being an only child, so being spoiled, admittedly. And one of the things, though, is I came up in the hospitality industry. My family owned a motel. My grandfather built a motel. Let me give you a little bit of history.
Okay.
I'm going to rewind real quick.
Okay.
Because I know somebody over in the corner there would probably start shooting darts at me if I don't. But so let me tell you a little bit about myself. My family is from a community in North Charleston called Liberty Hill. Liberty Hill is the oldest neighborhood in North Charleston, founded by 4 freed Black men.
Come on now.
Two of whom were my ancestors. My ancestral name is LeCue. My mother's maiden name is LeCue. My grandfather, Arnold William LeCue Sr., and his mother, Anna Eliza Scott LeCue, were entrepreneurs. My grandfather had no more than a 3rd grade education after that, he had to get to work. And so my grandmother and my great grandmother and my grandfather would take food down to the Navy base and sell it. We had a laundromat. My great grandmother was one of, I think, two, maybe three midwives in Liberty Hill. Also owned a nursing home for men. And then my grandfather took pieces of homes from the Navy base, brought them to Liberty Hill and bricked them in. He was a brick mason, and he built Golden Dream Motel, which was in business for about 40 years. And so the history of Liberty Hill is in me.
Yes.
Service is in me because that's what my family did. And so I started off, in my family's business. And then as a child, I was serving people in the motel.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into the hospitality industry. I was a cosmetologist. And then my mentor, I watched her. There was an AKA convention here in Charleston, of which I am. And
a proud member
of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And
say
so
the first family.
First.
Right, the first in Liberty Hill and the first.
Thank you. So yeah, and so we were at Charleston Place Hotel, which is right down the street from here, and that's where I saw my mentor for the first time working in her element. She was director of HR. And I said, and I watched her and how she engaged with the staff and did what she did. And so I decided that's what I want to do. And so, as a younger person, my discipline was not there. I was 30 by the time when I got my bachelor's because I played around in school. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean you can't finish. Mm-hmm. Don't ever give up.
Right.
I did my bachelor's and then I did my master's. I'm contemplating a PhD.
Come on, girl.
Y'all got to pray for me.
Don't do it.
Because that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
I get it, but it's gonna be worth it.
I don't know if my brain can handle it.
Just little piece by piece.
Piece by
Look,
piece.
Just like the bachelor's, if it take you 10 years, you still gonna be. I
still have it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Thank you for that. That's confirmation.
Yes.
And so I went to Trident Technical College here in Charleston. They had a hospitality program. I did that program debt-free, didn't have to pay for it. I had a scholarship. There was a scholarship that nobody applied for, and I applied for it, and I got it. And I applied for other stuff, and I got all of it. School paid for everything, and then got money back.
Yes.
Right? And so I decided when I went into the hospitality industry, when I went into the hotel, I wanted to learn the different positions in the business before I went into HR for two reasons. One is because I wanted to understand what the staff experienced in the different areas of the hotel, which would allow me to have greater knowledge to assist them, to encourage them, to provide support for them. But the other side is they couldn't BS me.
Come on.
They can come in with the okie doke and me fall for it, not knowing what exactly they did. So I was very strategic in how I did that. But human resources has become not just a job for me, but definitely a ministry because it is serving people. I've had employees. I worked at Wild Dunes Resort here. We brought in 72 Jamaican workers for the summer. And so it almost felt like I was the mother hen having all these, all these people. And so, but even in that was service. Everything that we do has got to be out of love and out of compassion. My mother always taught me never take away their dignity. Always treat people and let them keep their dignity. It doesn't matter where they are in their life. Doesn't matter what the walk is in their journey.
Yes.
Always respect people and don't take their dignity.
Amen. Well, first off, look, I am extra honored. I was already excited, but just with your intro, I'm like, okay, come on, y'all. We got Charleston royalty in the building. Y'all act like you know. Okay,
No,
and
not
then
even close.
Yes, like it is literally just flowing through your bloodstream, and the fact that you're so humble with it. That is one thing I will always say. That is a telltale sign of someone's heart. but also just the favor, the anointing, the oil that's flowing. Because when you got it and you know who gifted it to you,
Absolutely.
you're just kind of like, it's not me, it's
Yeah.
the one who works through me.
Thank you.
But at the
Come
same
on.
token, I'm like, no, baby, I got to give honor where honor is due. Yes, I am sitting here with royalty.
I came from a strong line of women.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, my grandmothers, my great grandmother, but also just a family of strong faith on both sides. And so I'm thankful that my mother poured into me the way that she has. I'm thankful that my grandmothers poured into me the way that they did, because they poured into me in a way that leaves a lasting legacy in my spirit, not just, memories, but in my spirit. My grandmother, my paternal grandmother, my dad was from DC, and so summertimes and holidays, I would go to DC. And during the summertime, my grandmother worked in the church, so I would go to church with her. And so they would have noonday Bible study, and I'd be right up in there, noonday Bible study. They would have prayer service, I'd be right there, prayer service.
Yes.
And, I think thinking back, I realized how God was moving in my life even then. Didn't know what it was at the time, but hindsight is 2020, and you see how God moves through your life.
Building that foundation for you. And if you had any doubts, I'm sure my Visionary Voices audience already knows about the fact that you went to school and finished debt free. Well,
no. I just went to associate. I got my associates debt free. Now the rest of the stuff, God worked that out too.
Right, he had some provision.
My loan got forgiven.
Look, see the oil, the overflow.
Okay. Over $70,000 worth of loans. So I know whose child I am, because Lord knows I was trying to buy a house at the same time, and all of a sudden, poof, loans gone.
Look at God. So look, if you had any question,
there is a God.
Yes. And just like they say, only what you do for the Lord will last. So do not be weary in well doing. And we're definitely going to talk about how you make sure that anyone that is under you does not indeed get that weary and well doing. Because so one thing I do for my guests, I kind of virtually stalk y'all. So I found like old articles that you were in like back in 2024 and everything. And I was just like, okay. And, piecing everything together. So once again, I see the great intention that you have behind there. And I think that's important for us to remember, that leaders don't just sit up top. And
we work.
Exactly.
We work.
And even how you said, like, no, I wanted to learn the ins and the out. First off, look, and then we're going to jump into the questions, I promise you. But first off, I want to point out that you said you saw your mentor for the first time, not on somebody's stage, not all glitz and glam. You saw her working.
Absolutely.
And in seeing her work, you said, I want to do that.
Absolutely.
So the fact of the matter, when we talk about the importance of our leaders showing up for everyone, not caring about their background, where they come from, what they're doing, what they even look like right now, but just showing up as your best self.
Absolutely.
In service, not knowing how God is going to use you in that moment. Because I'm sure your mentor had no idea that, hey, it's a young woman.
Somebody was watching her.
Right. Being not a cyber stalker like me, but being a stalker in real life, like, hold on, what's she doing over there? I want to do that.
Absolutely.
And then the fact that you said, no, I'm not just going to jump into this leadership. I want to play every role.
Absolutely.
So I know exactly what you're going through. So I can have that difference between empathy and sympathy.
Absolutely.
That I know what's truly going on.
Absolutely.
And we know what's in us. Like I said, so you're not gonna play with me either. Because baby, I done been there, done that, got the t-shirt, got the coffee mug, try again.
Good.
Okay.
I got the copyright too.
Look at that.
Thank you.
See, that's why you gotta go ahead and get that doctorate. Because that was very much so a doctorate response. Like, baby, don't play with me. Like I done went to the courts already. Okay. So I can just see that, like, wow, I just see how everything is just intertwined and flowing. So when did you realize that your work was not just about managing people, but it was about developing people, protecting the culture, serving the community, and honoring your calling that's clearly been on your family's lives for generations?
Wow. I think probably my second year of being in human resources. This year makes 30 years of me being in human resources.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I remember working at Wild Dunes Resort here in Charleston, and we were struggling with hiring because Wild Dunes was so far out. It's on the Isle of Palms, which is one of the barrier islands.
It's a beautiful location.
Absolutely. And so one of the things that I did simultaneous with the H-2B visa program, the Jamaican workers coming into the country, which is a huge to-do, because that's dealing with immigration, Social Security, all of the things, having to find a place for them to live, transportation,
Wow, you were
all the
all
things.
that. Yes.
But on the flip side, I wanted to give young people an experience in working. And so my mother at the time was the advisor for the North Charleston NAACP Youth Council. And so what we did is we had a little workshop for them about how to apply for a job, how to fill out the applications, what to say, how to look, how to dress, all the things. And the parents were involved as well. And so then not only did I have my managers there, but I allowed other businesses to come and held a job fair for the young people, because everybody was not going to necessarily want to come to Wild Dunes, and that's okay. But I wanted them to get the exposure and experience. And so we ended up hiring, I want to say 30 young people from North Charleston, parents, the church, a couple of churches, myself, transported them back and forth in the morning and the afternoon. When I tell you these kids were loving their job, they was making money. Summertime at Wild Dunes is no joke. There was an ice cream shop, and we had 2 or 3 of them in there, and they would walk away with like a couple $100s a day in tips.
Yes.
And they were just too tickled. But it didn't stop with just working. One of the parents was a banker with Bank of America. And so we had him teach about how to save your money, what to do with your money, put in it. They were able to set up bank accounts if they didn't have them already. And so it was a holistic approach. And even now, when I see them today, I see them all the time. And I'm just amazed at how far they've come. One is an excellent school teacher, grade school teacher. Another is a city official in North Charleston. I don't know if he's still a merchant marine. I think he is. One is a merchant marine. One is retired Air Force. I mean, just see them in all walks of life.
Right.
I think one is getting ready to move. I forgot. I just saw his mom the other day. I can't remember where she said he was moving, but he, I don't remember who he's working for, but he got a management position and is moving to take that position. So just to be able to see how God used me as a willing vessel, was a blessing. Those are blessings in my life.
Yes.
Because I'm privileged to be able to have the authority, ability, resources, whatever it is, to give and to pour into people. And so managing them along with managing the folks that came from Jamaica, and supporting them in their Independence Day. So they had a big old cookout and everything for their Independence Day, and supporting them and doing that and making sure everybody was taken care of, that, the housing was fine. It was a lot. That one summer was a lot, but that's when I realized the gift that God had given me in compassionate leadership and being able to relate to people in a way that most human resource individuals would not.
Right.
There's so many stories that I could tell just in human resources alone, and how God has used me. We had one of our executives at the museum started on a Monday. The following Monday, he had a stroke.
Jesus.
I was there at the hospital with him until his family came. He was called dead several times. But he's back at work.
Look at God.
He's been back at work for a year.
Look at God.
But I walked with him every step, not because I had to, because most HR people would not do it.
Right.
I did it because that's the right thing to do.
Yes.
That's what he needed. He needed that support. When you're somewhere brand new, he just moved here,
Mm-hmm.
brand new. So to be able to do that for someone, because someone did it for me.
Mm.
I had a health crisis. I lived in Baltimore for 7 years, and then I moved back home, but I had to go back to Baltimore for medical care.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the families that adopted me in Baltimore allowed me to stay with them for 8 weeks after I had surgery.
Wow.
They didn't want anything. They didn't ask for anything. They got mad when we bought them stuff. But favor ain't fair, but it is real.
That part.
And so because of
Mhm.
what God has done for me, I have no choice but to do unto others.
Yes.
I have no choice but to support people and to pour into people and to be there. If I have, you got.
Yes. And one thing that I am loving, just even having this conversation with you, is first and foremost, I know your church home is extremely happy to have you because you know, I always say I love my church folk, but we also know the other side of things, especially growing up in the church.
Absolutely.
We do understand why sometimes people will say, "Oh, church folk the worst type of folks."
Right.
But then when you meet those genuine church people
Absolutely.
that actually don't believe in just playing church,
Mhm.
don't believe in just staying inside the four walls and, oh, we got to do this just in the four walls, that they realize, no, these four walls, yes, that's the school, yes, that's the hospital,
We're the
but we're the
church.
church. Exactly.
We're the church.
That's the tabernacle. That's the
Absolutely.
sanctuary, but we are the church and we are all members of God's
Absolutely.
body. So to hear just how you go about, you move about, I know Charity Missionary Baptist Church.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that
That's
look,
my
shout
church.
out. And you know, yes, thank you
Yes.
for sharing one of your ministerial staff with me. But I know that it is a blessing to have you there, and even every place, the museum, all the places that you are, Charleston Public Library. Like, I just know that when you step on the scene, everybody could be like, you know what? Superwoman here. Because to hear how you step into these leadership positions, it's not so much as you go above and beyond. So before we started recording, I was telling you about my mentor, Renita D. Alexander, with her Leadership Unlocked. But I also have one of my besties, Candace Washington, who she has pivotal impact. How I end up having people close to me that are very much so involved in leadership,
Mhm.
I don't know. It just so happens. But when I hear Candace with Pivotal Impact talking about creating an ecosystem and a culture that your people
Absolutely.
can thrive in and that they don't want to leave in a drop of a second, I'm like, they need you. This is the leader that she's
Absolutely.
talking about.
Mhm.
When I think about all of the things that Renita tells me about the importance of knowing about your strengths and importance about the self-awareness, I'm like, that's Melanie right here. Like, okay, so to see the embodiment of what those great women, I'm always hearing them talk about, and when they go out to the different businesses and stuff, I'm like, this is you. So
Absolutely.
like, I just want to once again give you your honor and give you your flowers, because yes, you are not only just a great corporate America or not for profit space leader, but you are literally a great leader in the kingdom,
Thank you.
because you are literally showing the heart of God. The fact that you're like, yes, I'm going to go to that hospital. I'm going to be that leader, even in a sick room, even in those hard times. That is a rare quality to find. And the fact that you're like, I just do this, and I'm so humble about it, because you know it's not, you know, on me, it's in me, but you know, I don't even want to. And that is just a blessing. And
Thank you.
thank you for sharing your story and your gift and all the things. Like, I just feel so humbled and honored again that you are here. So speaking of the church and being in that church leadership position, what is something that church leadership taught you about people that professional leadership alone could not? Because we know we see some interesting things in the church now. Because like I said, it's the school, but also the hospital. You know,
Absolutely.
it's sacred, but when we come in as we are and where we are.
Absolutely.
So it's a difference, dare I say.
I think, you know, the church shows us that we are all flawed,
Mm-hmm.
that there is no one perfect person,
Yes.
right? But we also bring gifts,
Mm-hmm.
each and every one of us. And so we have to tap into those gifts of the individuals that are around us. whether I'm at church, whether I'm at work, whether I'm in the community, you have to tap into the gifts of those people around you, because God gave us collectively things to use for the kingdom.
Yes.
Whether you recognize the kingdom or not.
That's a good point there.
God created us all.
Mm-hmm.
And so what he put in you has to come out.
Yes.
Now, some people struggle with that. They fight, you know, bringing that stuff out. They want to push it down. They want to drug it away, drink it away, whatever it is. But whatever it is, it's going to come out. It's got to come out.
Right.
And so knowing that we're all flawed allows me to have a baseline with people and meeting them right where they are. I don't expect any more of them than they expect of themselves, but I do then start elevating them.
Little by little.
Little by little. Because the more you invest in them, the more they will step up. And I'll give you an example. When I lived in Chicago, not Chicago, I did used to live in Chicago.
Ooh, shout out, Chi-Town, get down.
All right. Chi-Town. Yes, I used to live at State and Chestnut. Loved it.
Wow, okay.
But when I lived in Baltimore, it was probably my last year up there. I met this young lady. We were going on a trip coming down here for a concert that I'd set up down here. And so there were 4 of us traveling, and she had a daughter/niece. It was her niece, but she raised her niece as her daughter. And she needed help with her getting her into another school because she had been homeschooled, I think the prior year, because they kicked her out of school. And in her freshman, sophomore, junior year of school, she never made higher than a C. And we were trying to transfer her into a school, which was the top school in Baltimore County. And so we went to speak with whoever it was, I think assistant district superintendent or
like
something
one of the
like
top
that.
dogs.
Right. He said, well, no, y'all not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to get her in. I looked at him. I was like, okay. And
look, he didn't know who you were.
No.
He clearly did not know.
At all. Not even at all. So she got into the school. So then we met with, now mind you, this was a Black man we were talking to. So then we got to the school and we met with the guidance counselor, a Black woman, who said she has too many classes. She's never going to graduate. Okay. Watch. Watch and learn. I brought her to school every day because it was outside of her district. Took her to school every day, picked her up, took her to Starbucks. Or if I couldn't pick her up, she went to Starbucks, did her homework and waited for me. If she needed help, I had made friends with people in the Starbucks. And there was a man who was in the Starbucks every day. And he was like, if she needs help with math, let me know. If she needs help with English, somebody else was willing to help her. And she graduated. Wow. She graduated on time. Then she wanted to go to this crazy junior college in West Virginia that was not accredited. I said, girl, what?
Like, I'm gonna need you to go someplace that's credited. Like,
I'm gonna need you to go to a real school.
Right.
And so I had her apply to several different schools, and one of the schools was Claflin University. And she was rejected from Claflin. I said, don't worry about it. I called my mom. My mom and I both went to Claflin. And so my mother made a phone call and she got in. She finished in 4 years with honors and then moved to Alabama, where she is now in Huntsville, and got her master's in social work and has been doing that ever since. Yeah. And now is the mother of a precocious 5.5-year-old boy. Lord Jesus, have mercy on me. Woo, girl.
The legacy.
Girl.
He just got energy like his mama.
I don't know what it is. He's like that from the time he opens his eyes until he goes to sleep. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Being
the fantabulous leader that you are, I feel like I have to ask this question for all of our, I'm going to say, students of leadership, and especially great leadership and godly leadership, because you get all of that, sister girl. So what does a healthy culture look like, whether we're talking about a church, an organization, a nonprofit, a public institution, or a community? When you just think of a healthy culture or a healthy community, what does that look like?
A healthy culture and community is where people feel valued,
Mm-hmm.
respected, they're held accountable, they're appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever it is, whatever that mission is, that they're connected to that, that they feel the heartbeat of the organization, whether it's the church, whether it's the museum, whether it's civic work, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But being respected, when you think about history, think back in history, especially about churches, during Jim Crow era, Black folk went out into the community. They worked in kitchens and hotels and doing all the menial labor, being disrespected, all those things. But when they came to church, they were deacons, they were trustees, they were deaconesses, they were the ministers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They had a title and they had respect because of that.
Yes.
Where they may not have had it outside, they had it in the church. And so that leadership and that culture of leadership starts in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Children learn leadership in the church. We teach them by showing them how to behave, how you respect elders, how you address elders. We teach them how to public speak in the church by doing Easter plays and Christmas programs and all the things, reading the scriptures and all of the things. And so the culture, our culture, starts in the church.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's where our culture starts. And that also is at home. But then when you bring it to work, for me, I want to make sure that people understand that every role that they play in the organization is a pivotal role.
Yes.
They add value to what we do. So even at the museum, I don't care whether you empty trash, you walk around at security, you count the money, whatever it is, it's pivotal to the experience of the visitors that come through. And it's relevant to the story that we tell.
Yes.
And so one of the things that's important to me is when people come into the museum, their experience is elevated so that the experience does not take away from what they see on the walls or hear throughout the museum. I expect that our people are going to give the best experience ever. And rarely ever have I gotten a bad response from a visitor because of the behavior of our staff. Our staff, they're 10 toes down for the mission, period.
Yes.
That's it.
I can attest to that. Yes.
That's it. And so what I do as a leader is make sure that they have what they need to be successful in their job. It's up to them to use that to bring the success for themselves. One of the things I take pride in, our museum is very small. We have less than 100 staff, but I can count on one hand at least a handful of folks who have already elevated themselves, been promoted in the 3 years that we've been open.
Wow.
And that's because if you give them what they need, they're going to excel. If you pour into them and show them how much they are valued, they're going to do the work.
Yes.
And that's what leadership is about.
Yes. And for all of my leaders out there, especially those that are in corporate America, you already know that if you have that high retention rate to the point that we're talking about internal promotions, that's a key factor in you knowing that you got the right leaders in place. And like I said, I can definitely attest to, I remember from the first time I came to that museum, like the staff, when you mentioned that they 10 toes down about that mission, I want to say that they may have got an extra toe or two on each foot because it's like the way that they will make sure, like, hey, did you see this? Hey, let me let you know. Oh, if you come back, we got another exhibit that's coming.
Absolutely.
And the fact that we need that feel of community, because otherwise we know that our history as African Americans in this country it's filled with some great highs and also some low lows.
Absolutely.
So to be able to have that air of not just compassion, but dare I say that excitement
Oh,
for
yeah.
let's make sure that, or you know what, the right word is passion.
Mhm.
Let's be passionate about making sure that people actually know the roads we traveled.
Absolutely.
And that right then and there, because I am a person that I love museums. I literally will travel places to go to a museum. The International African American Museum is one of my absolute favorites.
Thank
And while
you.
granted, no shade on the Smithsonian, because I went there when they first opened, but I was like, it should have been this type of big crowd for right down here in Charleston.
Absolutely.
Because exactly how you said, the curation of everything and the people. When I tell you, like, my first day I went there, I came back twice in the same day. And the fact that I came back and people, oh, that's that girl from Chicago. Hey, baby, you didn't come in and go into the
That was
special.
probably Janice.
And I just love the fact. And by the time I left, like, quite a few people, especially security, knew my name
Mhm.
because she was like, okay, I got to close,
And
but
one
you
you never
almost.
got rid of.
Right. But she was just like, we closing, but you almost done with the special feature. So I'm just going to sit here. And I was like, thank you. But the fact that so many of them actually knew my name at the end of it all,
Absolutely.
like, that's saying something.
Absolutely.
But thinking about your work at the museum, it connects people, history, memory, identity, and legacy all in one wop. So how has serving in that kind of institution shaped your understanding of leadership and stewardship?
Let me tell you another little story.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd always said when I started working there that I'm doing this for my ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
And I meant that. I did mean that. And so before we formally opened, we did test audiences. And so one day we had a friends and family day, excuse me, and my uncle and his wife came. And so I went upstairs to check on my uncle, see how he was doing. He was sitting in the cafe area and he was like, come here, grabbed me by my arm. He must have been 77, 78 and dragged me down the hallway. And he said, look, there's a picture that sits in my mom's living room of my ancestors, 3
Mm-hmm.
of the men, 2 of the men. There's 3 men, but 2 of the men were the founders of Liberty Hill. It was up on the wall in the museum.
Wow.
I worked there for 5 months before I knew it was even there. My uncle saw it. I don't know if I ever would have seen it
Right.
had it not been for him. But I was amazed. And so now when I say I do it for my ancestors, I really, really mean
Right.
it because they're up on the wall,
Yes.
right? And so stewardship, one of the things at my church, if you go on our website, you'll see it. Our motto is excellence is our standard and not our goal.
Yes.
That is in me because of my church.
Mhm.
And so I bring that to work. Excellence is our standard, not our goal. I'm not talking about good. We need to be great
Yes.
because we have a responsibility to tell the true, authentic story of the African American journey from the African diaspora. So that means from West Africa, where we come from, to the Caribbean, to the United States, or what is now the United States. We have a responsibility. And because we don't have to adulterate our story,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to take stuff down off the walls because people at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue want
to
the
hide
story
something.
whitewashed.
Mhm.
We're not whitewashing this. We're not doing that.
Yes.
What we are doing is telling this story in its fullness. And it's told by people who look like our community. So it's not just Black people. It's white people. It's Hispanics. It's all people.
Mhm.
Because if it weren't for us, if it weren't for the sweat off our backs
Mhm.
and the blood that we shed, this country would not exist today.
Yes.
We built this.
Mhm.
And so the story needs to be told to honor them. When I walk onto our campus, I can feel the rhythm of our people.
Mm.
My pastor speaks of, and we went to Africa in 2020, and he speaks of the rhythm of the land and how there's a harmony between the people and the
Yes.
land, and it just vibes together. And we vibe together at that museum because we believe in what we're saying. We believe that the story needs to be told, and we refuse to do anything less than excellent.
Yes.
And that's important for us. Now, let me make this plug.
Mm-hmm.
The International African American Museum announced recently, we had, and this is one of the hardest parts of my job, is we had to implement a furlough, July 1st through December 30th. We are asking for donations.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you're listening and you want this story to continue to be told in its fullness, in its authentic truth, please go to www.iaamuseum.org and contribute. Become a member. Support us in any way possible. Our CEO, Dr. Tanya Matthews, mentioned right after we announced the furlough, we got a lot of donations in, which was great, but we continue to need more. We have to continue to fundraise. She said the most valued contribution she had was a $7 check that somebody sent in, because that's all they could do. Was $7.
But they saw the significance.
They saw the
and the
significance and they sacrificed that money to send to us. And it doesn't matter what you want to give. Please support the International African American Museum. We don't receive federal funding. Therefore, we do not have to worry about taking anything down off the walls or being dictated to about how we tell our story. We tell our story in its authenticity.
Yes. And that is one thing that I absolutely have always loved and admired about the Charleston city, the Charleston area, because especially as soon as you come down here, there's no way you come down here and not know about the Gullah Geechee. But the fact that it's like, it's for real. It's
celebrated.
Yes.
We stand in that.
Yes.
I am not of Gullah Geechee descent. However, this is my community. And so the Gullah Geechee community is my community.
Yes.
And we celebrate it. Girl, that's where the food came from.
That part, because it is delicious.
Because if you don't go to Hannibal's and get some red rice, some fried fish, and some macaroni and cheese, please, girl, some okra stew, fried okra, whatever.
Yes.
All of that is ours. Came from the Gullah Geechee people.
Yes.
Who brought it over from Africa. That's all West African.
Yes. And I love it because it reminds me of, and if you ever get a chance to go to Cartagena, Colombia, but make sure you go to the Palanique. And when I came down here to Charleston, that's what it reminds me of with the Gullah Geechee. So with the Palanique, it's an area that when they imported the Africans there, these were the Africans that they thought were unruly, however they got away. And everybody knew if they made it to this certain part, accept your L, because anytime they had a slave catcher or anybody that would try to come back there, they would kill them and they would literally put their head on a stake. And in the late of the night hours, they would put it in the town square. So they know, you sent them people
that for us.
And like even to this day, the Palanique is still separate from Cartagena. They don't have regular police there. It's literally our elder council governs everything. And I can't remember the boxer's name, but it's a boxer who he actually funded. It was a black boxer. He actually funded for them to get their own like electricity grid and stuff.
Wow.
So, but it's like, I see that, and they have this beautiful from the United Nations statue there. And it's like, I can definitely see very easily that the UN will eventually come down to Charleston and give the Gullah Geechee one. But the preserving of the culture, the preserving of the language, the recipes, the heritage, like you can't help but to just feel all warm and fuzzy.
Absolutely.
When you get down here, and then it's just like, man, if they had music.
Welcome home when you come down here. Come on.
Come on. And the fact that y'all got Little Nigeria, not too far away, because that's where I went to the museum before they opened. I went to the museum and then I went to Little Nigeria and I came right on back. But it's just the fact that it's like, and being from Chicago, you know, we have our own history up there, but to come down here and it's like, we don't have to go to a plantation to hear our history.
No, ma'am.
And that in and of itself is a heavy thing. It's a blessed thing, but it's a heavy thing because too often we reduce and don't celebrate our history. But then you go to the museum and yes, this is a great place. So once again, if you don't know about it, book your trip. Come on down there. If you got a few extra dollars, donate. Yes, become a member. Because every 3 months, it's a new exhibit.
We have had, in the 3 years that we've been open, I think 4 or 5 exhibits so far, and this one will stay, I think, for another, if I'm not mistaken, another year, I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but
always check the site because it's always new
yes,
exhibits. So you may as well become a member. Like
absolutely.
may as well.
Sign up for the newsletter.
Right.
All the things.
And if like they got a summer camp going on, they have all types of things.
Pull up with joy.
Yes. And then, oh my goodness, all the different things that they do on a yard too.
Mhm.
Point being said, if you live in the Charleston area and you have not been to the museum,
Why not?
thank you. Because I'm like, baby, what are you doing? Are you living under a rock? What's going on? But even if you're not in the Charleston area, take it from me. Maybe hop that flight. Catch one of them $49 that ain't never $49.
Southwest.
But yes,
Right?
Southwest, never. But they get you with it's $49. But go ahead and plan in advance. Get your ticket on Tuesday morning and get on down here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. See, as you can tell, every now and then I work a little bit.
You get excited. You get excited.
So like I'm so, look, I'm gonna say thank you so many times, but thank you again, because I'm like, we still got to get into, because she still wear more hats than just the museum. And yeah, we just talked about church and the museum, but you're also on the Charleston County Public Library Board of Trustees.
I was.
Okay.
I rolled off the board in December of 2025. I was on the board for 8 years.
Wow.
I think 6 of which I served as chair. And ironically, the reason I got on the board is because I was considering running for an office.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to sort of slide in sideways
Mm-hmm.
to feel out what that looked like dealing with the county and
all that government stuff.
All the government stuff, exactly. It was an amazing experience. In the 8 years that I was on the board, we built 5 new libraries, renovated the remainder of the libraries. And so I think we have 18 libraries, 15, 18, something like that. I can't even remember. But we have some of the most beautiful libraries. They have one of them has a little kitchen where demonstrations are done. One of our libraries has a video podcasting booth, a recording booth, maker spaces where we have 3D printers and we have sewing machines and all the things. We have classes for the community. And so it is really the neighborhood hub.
Right.
And I think there's 5 of our libraries that actually have a refrigerator with fresh food, fresh produce that people can go in and take. Doesn't cost them any money.
Wow.
So my mom has come home with squash. I've seen all sorts of different vegetables and fruits come out of there. And sometimes they will do cooking demonstrations based on what's in the refrigerator.
That is amazing.
It is absolute. We have the best, hands down, best library system, I would say, in the United States. We were top 5 in, I want to say top number 1 in the region. That board and the staff at the library, at Charleston County Public Libraries, they're amazing. And it was a privilege and an honor to serve. It's unfortunate that my last year was spent a little bit of strife. I'm sure you heard a little bit about it. I had to take a bodyguard with me every once in a while because they tried to turn it real political. The MAGA, Moms for Liberty, those people wanted to politicize the library, wanting to take books off the shelf that they didn't like and take the books off the shelf that didn't speak to them. But the library is a community resource. Mm-hmm. Therefore, the books on the shelf need to reflect the community.
Yes.
And so if you're going to take a book off the shelf because you don't like it, you don't have to take the book off the shelf. Just don't check it out.
Exactly. And don't damage it either. That's just because you don't want to read it.
Girl, look, there were some people who were seen, caught on camera, taking books off the shelf and threw them in the trash can, having a child as a lookout. Just ignorance.
And what are you teaching your child in that moment?
Hello. And not only that, the child was adopted and of a different race than they were. So what are you telling them? What are you really telling them?
Yes, that's the part. What are you really like? No, not the answer you think it is. No, what are you in reality teaching them?
And it's so sad to know that there's such hatred,
yes,
and vitriol about things that people don't want to understand or don't understand, you don't have to like it,
Exactly.
but we do have to respect one another. We're
Mm-hmm.
all placed on this earth for a reason,
Yes.
and we are all here by the Creator.
Yes.
And so I have to respect the God in you.
Mm-hmm. And I have to respect the God in you.
Even if you don't know who God is, I still got to respect
Mm-hmm.
what I know is in you.
Yes.
And so it took a lot of restraint
Mm-hmm.
not to tell the people what I really wanted to tell them.
Mm-hmm. You had to think that, you know what, vengeance is the Lord's. So
Hey.
you know what, I'm gonna let God
I'm
handle
gonna let
you.
God
I'm
handle
gonna make
it.
sure I get my bodyguard, because even the word says you got to watch and pray. So
Right.
I'm gonna have my watchman there
Thank you.
while
While
I'm
I'm
yet
praying.
praying and doing the work.
Exactly. And speaking truth to power. That's the thing.
Yes.
Is that I could not allow that the moment to pass by without saying something
Mm-hmm.
to the people who were trying to make this a circus. And for a whole year, we got absolutely nothing done because it was politics. They wanted us to take the oath to the state of South Carolina. And so when the guy brought it up, he brought it up before he even sat in the first meeting.
So you don't even know what's going on, sir. Like, you don't even know my name.
And you want me to take an oath to a constitution that I know there's still some stuff in it that probably is not for me.
Exactly.
So now I ain't doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So they twisted it, saying that I didn't want to take the oath to the United States Constitution, which I did not say. But, you know, it was a big hubbub. I was in the paper. And then that's when our mutual partner here.
Mm-hmm. that you like, you know, I got something for y'all. Uh-huh.
He said, I'm coming to the next meeting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that he did. Every time he was in town, he came to the meeting. And, you know, just being able to have that confidence to be able to speak to people and again, leaving them with their dignity, as much as they made me mad, hot like fire mad. I still had to tell you, you know, I'm responsible to tell you the truth.
Yes.
What you're doing is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a challenge. I'm glad it was my last year, because if I had to deal with that again, I don't know if I would take it as well.
I feel like the Lord would have kept you. But nonetheless, it reminds me in that moment that, first off, your gift does make room for you. And sometimes we have to remember, just like in the book of Psalms, that it tells us he will set your table in the presence of your enemies.
Absolutely.
So your enemies are there. They're clocking, hey, she over here eating good. Not realizing, govern yourself accordingly, show yourself friendly, and you can make a friend. Baby, you can be at this table too. You can get a blessing of the overflow.
Absolutely.
But the fact that even in those moments, you still knew, I have a charge to keep. Look,
God to glorify.
Look, I was like, should I go super churchy? But look, you finished it for me. Like, I got a charge to keep. And you know what? God placed the right people at the right time.
Absolutely.
And
all the time.
Look, and I already know that, you know what? God, if you be for me, who can be against me?
Don't care.
And at the end of the
Ain't
day,
worried.
When it comes, I always love that our previous Attorney General, Eric Holden, always said that we are a nation of cowards when it comes to the situation of race.
Absolutely.
And he gets so much backlash for that. But nonetheless, to have a leader, a Black woman leader, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, a Black woman leader in the southern region of this United States of America that says, no, good, bad, indifferent, ugly, whatever. This is the history. This is a story that is valued.
Absolutely.
And part of diversity, you don't have to like it.
Mm-mm.
Like how mamas used to say, baby, you ain't got to like me, but baby, you will respect me.
Absolutely.
And that's what it comes down to. We have to respect one another's journey. And if your journey want to be over there on the left end, acting all buck fool crazy, go for it. But also consider who's watching you.
Definitely.
Those children, who's watching you. And we've already seen so many cases where they showed us that this racism, this hatred, this is something that is taught. So thank God for people like you and the other great people that are in Charleston is like, no, I'm going to stand for that fight. And if we got to tap into some, civil rights activism, that's what we going to do, because we're not going to continue this cycle and act like, oh, we didn't know what was coming.
Micah says, love mercy, do justice, and walk humbly with your God.
Yes.
And that is what we are called to do.
Yes.
And so if I don't know how to be compassionate, if I do not know how to fight for those who can't fight for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and all while honoring my God, then something's wrong. And these evangelical, whatever you want to call them, I don't know what Bible they're reading, but they're missing some verses. They're missing a message, which is they represent all of God's people. Doesn't matter what they believe, how they deal. We are all to be respected and represented. You can't erase us. We're not going anywhere.
Right.
Matter of fact, we were here before y'all got here.
That part.
So we can't, you're not going to get rid of us.
So true.
And so we have to be confident in ourselves as a people, as a community, to be able to communicate to others what we deserve, how we should be treated, and what we will not do.
Yes. And what we will not accept.
That part.
Because I oftentimes think of the why behind it all. And when you look at the numbers, for so many years, you have a group of people that they have been in power because of their numbers. Those numbers are no longer on their side.
That's why abortion is such a big issue. They want white women.
Yes.
Right.
But when the numbers was on the other end, you was all for it. And, let's put them in their communities. But at the end of the day.
But now you want our communities.
Because you think our communities are the cash cows. But at the same token, it's like, it doesn't have to be this way. And thankfully, we do have some people that they realize people need people. We could all thrive together. We don't have to do it in silos. When you think about all the different needs that various families, young people, seniors, workers, congregations, just everyday residents, what the things that they need, what do you believe the communities need most from their leaders right now?
Transparency.
Yes.
I think we struggle with being authentic in more ways than one. North Charleston had an unfortunate situation where 3 of their council persons actually were recently sentenced for a bribery situation. We have to realize a couple of things as African Americans. We can't do what they do.
That part. It is what it is.
They're waiting for us. They're watching us. We have to be above board in everything that we do. The playbook right now is don't let us get ahead. Don't let us get a seat at the table. Don't let us be able to tell our story. No, we don't have a right to represent our own people. That's what the playbook says. But God's book says that we stand on the word. That no weapon formed against us shall prosper.
Amen.
That we are more than conquerors. That we should pray without ceasing. That we are his chosen people.
Yes.
And so if we walk in our truth, if we walk in our history, if we walk in our culture and understand if we don't take a stand now, when will we take a stand? Number one. Number two is we have to bring up young people.
Yes.
We do not want young people to look at us and be disappointed that we didn't represent them the way that we should. We have to create the next generation of leaders. We have to give them the room to explore and expand. We have to give them the room to grow, but we also have to be honest with them about our experiences. Don't whitewash it. Don't dumb it down. Let them know, look, this is what I dealt with. And so because I dealt with this, I want you to do better. Learn from my mistakes.
Exactly. Yes.
It's not too hard to be a mentor for a young person. It's not so hard to just sit down and have a conversation with them in the church, in the community, at the library. Library's got free rooms
Right.
you can book. Have some donuts and coffee or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But show our young people that they are worth pouring into.
Yes.
Because our civil rights champions now are at the point where they're about to age out.
True.
We need people to come up behind them. My pastor, Reverend Dr. Nelson B. Rivers III, has been in the civil rights justice movement for over 40 years, probably 45 years, probably a little bit longer than that. And he is a maverick. He is amazing. He definitely ain't scared.
Mm.
He said he ain't gonna scratch if it don't itch.
Mm.
He ain't gonna laugh if it ain't funny.
That part.
But he gonna tell you what he gonna tell you.
He gonna tell you how T.I. is.
Absolutely. And I appreciate his modeling that behavior. I appreciate him showing us how to be confident and able to speak truth to power without being, how to have civil discourse
Mm-hmm.
without being disrespectful to a point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they act out, then church out, we might have to
Mm-hmm.
roll out. But,
Mm-hmm.
being able to speak truth to power, being transparent, making sure our young people are supported and allowing them to grow into the leaders that they're meant to be.
Yes. And I absolutely love that, being an educator myself and being around the youth, that I always indeed tell them that it's like, leaders of tomorrow, we start today, so let's start training you up now.
Absolutely.
And we know that the word says, train up a child in a way that they should go, so they will not depart from it.
That's right.
So I 1,000% agree with, we need more transparency. And with that transparency, we know that we indeed will prosper.
Absolutely.
It's without the vision that the people perish. So we're going to give them
them the vision.
And that's why we got this visionary voice right
There
here. It's giving all of that.
I like how you did that.
So my last question before I let you go, and I don't want to let you go, but when we think about that next level of service for you, not just a bigger title, not just a bigger platform or position, but a larger assignment, because I just see that the Lord has been doing already big and great things through you. So why not add a little extra on there? What do you believe your current work has been preparing you for?
Wow. I think I'm still contemplating running for office. My goal is to stay with the museum a little while longer. And so that being the case, what office I run for has to be well thought out, because if it's a partisan position, I can't run for it because the law doesn't allow me to work at a nonprofit and run in a partisan position. But if it's a nonpartisan seat, then that's something I may consider. So maybe city council, maybe the school board. I'm not sure. We'll see. Only God knows.
Mm-hmm.
And he has not given me that clear vision yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what he got to say. Check back with me in about a year or two.
Right. Because we know the Lord don't take forever and a day. Like,
No.
So you know what? I see it. Mm-hmm. This is where you're going to go. Right here, right there.
Here. Right. Exactly.
So I love that. And I definitely do know that wherever, because I do see bigger, and not saying that the museum is not big, because the museum is big, but just your heart for service and the leadership gift that God has put in you.
Thank you.
You're going to have to lead some people. You're going to have to lead some people out of darkness. So we know it's just a matter of, like you said, what the actual title is, but it's coming. That I can clearly see, and the people that you serve will be better for it, because you truly have a heart after God. You reverence God, and you are still humble while yet you hold this great power. So I thank you so much for spending this time with me, for sharing your story, your voice, all these great gems of wisdom, and just Thank you. Thank
To
you on
God be the
behalf
glory.
of all the people in this entire Holy City region, because you've been doing some things, and even the people in Baltimore. We all thank you.
All my people.
Yes.
All my people. Thank you for having me. I too appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. So, Melanie, thank you so much for joining us on Visionary Voices and sharing your wisdom, your experience, your faith, and your heart for people. Today, she reminded us that leadership is not just about titles, positions, platforms, or rooms. Leadership is about responsibility. It is about self-awareness. It is about how we communicate, how we serve, how we build culture, how we steward trust, and how we show up for people in the workplace, in the church, in public institutions, and in the community. You reminded us that before we can lead people well, we have to be willing to look inward. We have to be willing to grow, to listen, to be corrected, and to be stretched, and to become more aware of how our presence impacts the spaces we enter. To our Visionary Voices audience, I hope this conversation challenges you to lead with both conviction and compassion. I hope it reminds you that your calling is not limited to one room, one title, or one season. Sometimes God uses every place you have served to prepare you for your next level of service. So whether you are leading in your home, your church, your workplace, your nonprofit, your school, your business, or your community, ask yourself, am I leading from self-awareness? Am I building healthy culture? Am I stewarding trust? Am I becoming the kind of leader people can depend on? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode with a leader, a ministry servant, a young professional, a community advocate, or someone who is being prepared for a larger assignment. Until next time, keep building, keep becoming, and keep using your voice with vision. This has been Visionary Voices with Dr. Brewer.
Visionary Voices, where your purpose gets ignited, your spirit gets in